We put out an animation a little while ago for Breast Cancer Awareness Month that featured the iconic ribbon that kind of loops through, goes through its motion there, and then we talk about the BRCA1 and BRCA2 gene, but it was pretty tricky to get right into the perfect twist and rotation here. So I wanted to show real quickly how we put that together. We used some spline tools, some of these new tools, and I don't think otherwise it would have been possible. So there's a new tool called Freehand. We're all familiar with how to draw a spline using the Bezier method. Well, Freehand, you can just kind of draw it on freehand. And then there's some other tools that are really nice. So with Freehand, let me turn this guy Vertex Ticks on so we can see what is going on here. So those are all the verts that look pretty ugly. You can raise or lower those verts. But what I'm going to do is take something called Spline Relax, which essentially takes that spline and relaxes it like the relax modifier you're familiar with for geometry. So take something that's a little rough and smooths it out really nicely. From there, there's another tool called Normalize Spline 2. Works similar to Normalize Spline, but it has some cool things where you can explicitly call out, hey, I just want 20 knots or 30 knots, however many you want there. You can use straight segments. You can have it retain existing knots if they're within a certain distance. So I'm just going to turn that here. 10 looks pretty good. And then I'm going to manipulate the shape a little bit so that it doesn't loop right over itself. Give it a little bit of space. So add an edit poly. I'm going to edit spline rather. And you can grab one of these verts, use soft selection, edges, maybe 15. And crank up the fall off a little bit. This will give me the ability to just grab one side of the piece. Okay, so I've got that separated a little bit. Now from the spline, I'm going to create the ribbon geometry to path deform onto it. I'm just going to make that out of a plane. I'll build that up here. And that looks good. Turn it to pink. And then throw on Path Deform 2. Path Deform 2 is great. It allows you to put modifiers above it in the stack since it's in object space, not world space. But it also then will apply and stick right onto this piece of geometry. So I'll pop that on there, get the right axis going. There it is. So it's on the Z. So that looks pretty good. I'm going to just change the width and the length of it a little bit. Put it to 50% so it's right in the middle. So this is cool. The issue we were finding is we want this top section to twist. I can rotate, if I put it on the right axis here, I can rotate this guy around, but it all rotates relative evenly. So I want the top portion to be rotated, I want these bottom portions to be flat. You could twist it, but as you see, that kind of just twists it one side, and that's not exactly what we want. So there's this cool feature in here down at the bottom of the plugin called Driven Rotation. It's going to drive the rotation based off of another object. So I'll create another spline here up above. Push this guy up a little bit, subdivide him maybe 10 times or so. It has a little bit of a bias here. I'll go ahead and throw a normalized spline on that to even that out. Normalized Spline 2, which is one of the Spline Tools plugins. So now it's all nice and even there, and I could even collapse this back down to editable spline. To be able to use this as a rotation, first I need to enable this and associate this spline with this piece here, and then determine which axis we're using. So we're using Z, and I'll give you an idea of how this works. If I'm on this spline, maybe grab a vert here in the middle and do a soft selection, it's rotating 50% on this spline. That rotation happens right there. So there's some interesting controls on the actual path deform. Click off this sub-object mode here. Back onto the path deform, you see a scale. So crank up that scale. You can go to where you think it looks about right, and then you're able to take this spline and control a very specific twist, which otherwise would be really tricky. So now I can, back to my path deform 2, it flies right through that, and it makes for this really nice shape. This allows you to kind of control and direct your splines, and this path deform Spline Tools plugin really helped us direct and get this spot looking exactly like we wanted. If you'd like to see the full animation or see a little bit more about the work we produce at Elara Systems, just head over to elarasystems.com. It's in Portfolio Animations, and the full-length piece is hosted out there. So take a look and let us know what you think. Thanks.